Hello, Skills 2 students. It was great seeing all of you in the second week of our workshops. You did a very excellent job on interviewing your client in most cases, and both Mr. Fechner and I were happy with the results. These slides are just going to remind you of the main points that we covered when we did our interview and prepare you for the in-class assessment, which is coming up in week 3. Best wishes. This slide presentation looks at the main aspects of an interview, reviews the grading criteria for the in-class assessment, and reminds you about the logistics for signing up and participating in the in-class assessment. In our workshops, we took a moment to prepare ourselves as a group. We divided up the aspects of the interview among the team members, and we recalled the phases of the interview process in order to determine which members of the team would carry out which roles. Then we did the interview itself, and we remembered to act as a team, not to be afraid to interrupt if one or another member forgot what was to come next. And we also rehearsed listening to our client's story so that when we intervene, we could use some of the information from the client in our intervention. On the in-class assessment, your interview will be graded according to the main points that are listed on this slide. The team must welcome the client and help him or her feel at home, and they should also explain the way the interview would proceed. They should introduce themselves and give background on the law firm. They should also advise the client before the beginning of questioning about confidentiality. The team can begin its interviewing with an open-ended question, and they must follow that open-ended question with a summary before they ask for follow-up questions. The follow-up questions ask for details, and those are closed-ended questions. And finally, the team should tell the next steps and ask for any additional documents to close out the interview. Please note that in some cases, if you fail to do one of the items on this list, you will fail the interview as a team. We discussed that in workshop 2, but I do want to remind you of those things. First of all, it is very important that confidentiality be advised prior to beginning questioning. Therefore, if a group begins to question the client without first talking about confidentiality, that would be a reason to fail the group. The second moment where groups are going to be closely scrutinized is when you start your interviewing process. We will look for an open-ended question. If you begin with something other than an open-ended question, that could also be a reason to fail the group. The third aspect that is very important in the interviewing process is summarizing the client's story. So we would want to see you summarize the client's story before asking follow-up questions. If you were to fail to do so, that would be a third reason to fail the group as a whole. Please keep these three aspects in mind as you prepare for your interview. Just as a reminder, we're expecting students to sign up on the sign-in sheet and to check the sign-in sheet again to find out what time and location we have assigned to your group. Prepare with your group before the interview. There will be no time during our interview for you to prepare, so you must do so before you come to the interview that day. Please arrive on time, as we will not admit late students to their interview. Enter the room only when you've been invited by an assessor, and then carry out the interview and expect to receive feedback and your grade at the end of your interview. Please leave the room quickly so that the next groups can come and sit and also take part for their interview. Please don't forget to get in contact by email with me or with Mr. Fethner if you have questions about the upcoming in-class assessments. We look forward to seeing you and we wish you the very best. I'm certain that if you incorporate the elements that we discussed in these slides, you will have a successful outcome.